Hey folks, welcome to our latest episode of Football is Life. We're back and we're weird. Look at this weird fuzziness here. It's kind of, we're kind of psychedelic, making you feel like you're having like a weird trip. Yes, how are we, boys? Wembley Sadnap. There we go. The only City fan, and this is a great episode. Do you know why, everyone? This is great. You know why it's great? Because I get to sit back, and even though, like, there is in the midst, there's probably some Liverpool talking points that aren't great. We're probably not going to spend any time in that because I've got an Arsenal fan who's a bit sad. I've got a City fan who's probably the least optimistic City fan ever, so he'll be a little bit smug. But also with tempered, a bit of tempered enthusiasm. But then that's what I'm here for, to sprinkle in the nonsense, right? And the sass, because guess what? Carabao Cup final was guess what happened? Man City won. You know what happened? Man City won the Carabao Cup final, but it's not just the fact that, remember I said it would need to be a performance, a statement performance. They actually made Arsenal look more insipid than they have been recently, and more bereft of ideas, and more boring. And it's almost like Arsenal forgot they conceded 2 goals. So it allowed this huge pile on now, and then there's this now we're talking about pressure. Oh, the pressure's on. What do you think, Waza? Is this a turning point for the City team? Are this Arsenal team showing signs of mental fragility? Are they going to crumble after this international break? They might get a couple of injuries in. Oh no, they won't, because they've pulled all their players from all the internationals. None of you are going, right? But yes, Waza, would love your City reaction first before we come to Mike with the wow.
I was really hoping that we'd start with Mike, just because I feel like Mike's been just a bit too quiet in our chat about
He was very quiet that day. He was
very quiet.
And I know Mike.
He was fuming, is why.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Mike. I knew I could. Mike, when he gets angry, goes quiet. He's like he's got that Boston
seething in the second half,
and he's
absolutely just seething.
Yes.
I remember even during the match, I kept messaging you guys being like, it's fine. We've scored 1 goal. We're still going to lose this 2-1. And then when we scored the second, I was like, it's fine. We're still going to lose the 3-2. And that was like, I know that I was kind of winding folks up a little bit with that. But at the same time, that's genuinely because I thought our defense is so shite. We should be conceding a couple of goals. But then I think what I failed to take into account was the fact that Arsenal's attack was just piss. It was abysmal. Like, I don't know what happened. I mean, actually, that video circulating the entire internet to sort of show the very simple tactical genius that Pep showed, which was just don't press the back line. Just don't do it. And they cannot distribute well. Like, it doesn't matter if Declan Rice and Zubimendi are in front of you. It doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to be able to get past you. So, like, just wait, frustrate them, and then you're going to just knock it in. And, like, to be fair, things like having Nico O'Reilly play in the number 10 role is pretty genius. Like, that's pretty good. But, like,
which was his natural position before, right? Yeah. Like, they forced him into a back role.
Pep, he has to take guys and just like reinvent them.
Because
that's what Pep does.
Hey, Matthias Nunes did pretty well at left back.
But listen, Bukayo Saka was absolutely shite, and I would argue has been pretty average all season. So we do have to talk about that in a minute. But was it on the tactics? I do want to. I like the point you made. I do think this is worth us digging into in terms of like a bit of an analysis. There's been a lot of analysis done on Man City's tactics and talking about they went a 4-2-4. The front four were basically there to try and engage in screen to make sure they couldn't get those easy passes into midfield, with Bernardo Silva and Rodri, the screen behind the passing lanes to block any passing lanes, and ultimately trying to force Arsenal to say, well, are you brave enough to play under pressure, or do you force him to go long to Victor Gyökeres, who's about as useless, about as useful as a chocolate fire guard, when playing against anyone that's remotely good. And then they didn't have look, as I've said this many times, we did it at the Emirates to my surprise, because I think Arsenal's midfield is, are you looking on paper? I'm like, our midfield's not been playing very well this year, apart from Szoboszlai, and you're going, yeah, we're in banging trouble here. Man United did it with Casemiro, and somebody might think Casemiro's got more goals than any of Arsenal's midfielders, which is just let that sink in a little bit as well with the talent they've got in midfield. Wolves do it to them. Nottingham Forest have got very, very underrated midfield. And really what it's all about is actually I think people don't realize, see Gabriel and Slater, they're not that good on the ball, by the way. Like, they're just not that good on the ball, especially Gabriel. Like, he's not particularly good on the ball. I think, is this the sign, Mike, of people like all starting to go, oh, this is how you play against this team? They ain't got the chops to play if you put them under pressure and say you got to figure out a different way. Because look, Mike, as Arsenal, if you do a lot of teams do low block, they love that because they have the ball. You're not going to score against them. It's very, very hard to score against them. And then what that means is because they're camped in your half, guess what they get from that? Set pieces galore, corners, throw-ins, all those things, free kicks, which is how they've been very successful this year. You take that away from them and say, well, we're going to keep you away from our goal and force you to go long. They have nothing. And they also didn't have any. I'm sorry, give Declan Rice the ball. He can take it under pressure, I think. I don't know. Maybe Zubimendi can. Mike, am I wrong? I feel like these guys are good enough to take the ball and play, but they're told they don't do that. So
I also feel pretty bad for Kepa here, to be honest, because the thing is that the entire spotlight is on him for, yes, he made 2 glaring mistakes. But what about the others? As in letting the goal.
The glaring mistake was fucking starting him.
But at the same time,
I want to get your opinion on that. Yeah.
What about the 60 minutes before that? What were Arsenal doing then? And then also the 30 minutes afterwards.
I don't know what first half you guys were watching.
So okay, just before you go into this, I just want to class. So I'm going to give you my opinion, right? And you might calm your anger. So Mikel Arteta said that Arsenal were the better team in the first half. I don't think that's true. I think the first 20 minutes or 15, 20 minutes, Arsenal were the better team, clearly, and had a chance to be ahead, at least one.
And that was that was
a big chance.
Classic Arsenal fashion. We did not finish one of those early opportunities, which changes the tone of the game.
Yes, they had
and
one.
In the second half, we capitulated and were complete ass.
Yeah, so I think the first 15, 20 minutes they create the big Havertz chance. They actually started really well.
Save, insanity. One of those 3 goes in and it's a different game.
Yeah, to me, it's one big chance and 2 half chances. You want to take one of them. I agree.
Yeah.
Man City then gained poise after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they didn't want the first half to end because they were in the ascendancy. So I do think I don't think Arsenal were the better team in the first half. I do think Arsenal should have scored a goal in the first half, and City did have more. They were better in the second half of the first half, but they didn't really have those big moments. That I remember, it wasn't a
at
huge,
the end of the first
chance.
half. City was fortunate that they were not down at least a goal.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, they took that momentum and said, hey, we're in this. And Arsenal, as they have in the past, changed tactics, went back to this defensive hover thing. And when you're down a goal or down 2 goals, that doesn't work. You need to be attacking. So I do think it was a tale of 2 halves. And that was the turning point.
What do you think? Was it my personal opinion is Arsenal were the better team for about 15 minutes of the whole game. That's my opinion. But they were the better team for maybe 20. If I'm generous, I'll give them 20 minutes. But from minute 20 to minute 90, there was only one team winning that game.
Yeah, basically after that barrage of misses and saves, they did nothing. They didn't really do anything.
They had one big, to me, the big chance was Havertz. Is that's the one. That's the big chance of the game for Arsenal.
Exactly. Big I think you've got to kind of pull back a little bit and just kind of it's a mentality thing. Because still, person for person on that pitch, more often than not, Arsenal are the better team, right? And they've had substantially better form this entire season. They're still in various cups. They were not the team that got absolutely smacked by an aggregate of I think it was 5 against Real Madrid or something like that in Europe earlier in the week. They were riding high because they actually qualified for the next stage of the Champions League. So every single wind is behind them in their sails. Did they walk into that match thinking that they were absolutely going to dominate it despite clearly being the much better team this entire season? No, I don't think so. I really don't. Sure, they started strong, but they don't quite have that mentality yet to think, okay, that was annoying. Let's continue. Let's keep going.
Right. They didn't stick with the plan.
Yeah, because that's basically what happened with City versus...
What was the plan? What was the plan?
But that's what happened with City versus Liverpool earlier in the season, where City started strong and we had some chances, and Liverpool were doing pretty well in terms of saving them and keeping it out. But rather than sort of getting down and sobbing about it, they just cracked on and they won 3-0.
That game was the same as when we went to the Emirates and it was a draw. Arsenal came out the traps fast for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I thought we by the way, we were all over the place. It was like, it was way worse than what happened in the cup final. And then we were the better team for the next 65 minutes of that game, and we deserved to win the game. We were, if anyone did, we deserved to win the game. And I don't know. That's, I mean, Mike, what's the, like? I don't really know how you explain that, other than, okay, clearly good at getting out the traps. But then as soon as that, again, I guess, you know, I've got my own opinion, but I want to know from your opinion as an Arsenal fan watching that, going like what's the problem here? I mean, you can talk a bit about the Kepa selection. I think we should talk about that. That's a big call, right? But also City make the same call, which is interesting. But I would argue Donnarumma's actually been a bit not been brilliant in the past. Like he's not been great, I don't think. He has had big moments this year, so I'm not saying he's had a bad season. I'm just saying he's not been great of late. So Trafford started and played very well, by the way. But yeah, what do you think, Mike, in terms of your analysis of where it went wrong for Arsenal in this game, and had this been coming?
Maybe it had been coming. I think, like I said, first of all, you were the one that said quadruple. I said you were crazy. So, like, you know, there was no way that they were going to win all four. I think that what happened was like I said, they did not finish one of those early opportunities. And then there's this comes back to mental, that there was a frustration about not getting one of those early opportunities. And then just moving to so we didn't score, don't let them score, let's be defensive. And that is not how you win a cup final. You have to keep moving on, trust what was working for those first 15 or 20 minutes, Ross, and keep the pressure. But instead they went, shit, this didn't work, so let's regroup. And they shouldn't have regrouped. Yeah,
I mean, there's a couple of things I'll pose in terms of my analysis. I think Arsenal have a manager who is not getting the most out of the group of players mid to front. I can't argue with David Raya, his form. I can't argue net defensively. Like, you have to give credit, like massive credit. They're like they've got the best. Like, I trust them over any team in the world to keep a clean sheet, right? 100%. So like 100%. And we said and I do think there is the defense wins championships. Like, so there is truth in that. So you kind of look at that's kind of where they. And to me, the story here is not like, look, again, it's like everything. Like, you know, I have this. You know, do I love certain coaches that have coached Liverpool, like Roy Hodgson, their style? No, I mean, I get behind them. I know I'm not going to be thrilled and excited watching them, right? But look, you can't. So, is it my cup of tea? Did I think it's the way football? Not particularly. No, I don't love it. I get frustrated because I think mid to front they're really poorly coached. Like, I think they were really well coached 2 or 3 years ago when I was a very big supporter of Arteta. Actually, when he was being talked about for the sack because he wasn't delivering, I was like, no, I actually thought like they were really exciting.
See what the plan was, yeah.
But they were. You know, it was like there was chances. It was the speed that there was like it felt. I was like, wow. And I think what's happened is, and look, I always try and look for comparisons. I remember Jurgen Klopp came in, heavy metal football. We're winning games 4-2, 4-3, losing them 3-2. We were all thrilled because like we loved what he brought. He did realize that wasn't going to win based upon Man City's poise at that time. He realized that. So, but he didn't abandon that philosophy. He tweaked it to have like we had very much a kind of water carrier central midfield with Hendo, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, not guys that were. But we that enabled our front three to be they're the best in the world at the time, in my opinion, just phenomenal, right? So the balance, but the difference in our team, we had this balance of, and it was very attack-minded first, right? Whereas, you know, and it's fine. Arteta's gone the other way. I think he's gone the other way. We're like, okay, this is what he's doing isn't going to get me there. Yeah. And he's almost rotated the other way. And I think this is what you're seeing now. And I did say in my WhatsApp group with some people, again, lots of Man United and Arsenal fans, I said, look, you can argue all you want, but it has been winning football this season. Now, we can say about the level of City and Liverpool and all that. Ultimately, it was like last season when people were saying, well, Liverpool are limping to the title. I was like, yeah, but nobody's pushing us. So, like, that tends to happen. Like, you know, the only reason City and Liverpool break 100 points was it is, like Pep and Klopp said it, they pushed each other because, like, you knew you had to win every game because the other team was winning. And it's like, we've got the opposite this year where it's almost like, it's so Arsenal don't need to almost do anything drastically different, Mike, because they're getting they're top of the Premier League. That's the main prize here. It's never the Carabao Cup. It's good to have these titles, but they're still in pole position. And looking at their fixtures, I would challenge anyone to bet against them dropping more points than City. So I know that the Etihad game coming up could be a factor in terms of, but City would have to do the same thing again. And I don't think Arsenal would let that happen.
But I do better not.
I know. Well, but the thing is, so I know I'm kind of top, but I think that the point here is there's two things. One is Arteta, and I do think that is on him. I don't think I'm the Kepa thing. I get it, and I think it's probably the right call in terms of the culture and I understand what you're saying, Mike, because Raya's playing so well. Like he's playing so well.
What was he doing? What was he doing?
I mean,
play. First of all, frankly, when he grabbed his shirt, I don't care what the official said. That was a clear goal scoring opportunity, and he should have been yanked.
He should have been sent off. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, the officiating
Mike, another mind blowing officiating. I said nobody else. I'm like, guys, that's the definition that he's the goal. He's out the goal. Like
right. He's outside the 18, grabbing the guy's shirt. Like it was a clear goal scoring opportunity. So he should have been gone then, but it was just. No, if you want to win, I don't care if he was the guy that got you there through that competition. You play your best 11.
Well, do you know what it's like, Mike, in ice hockey? There's this thing of like goaltending. Sometimes it's time you play the hot hand. You say you're playing
in the playoffs. There's only one starter.
The hot hand. Whoever's your guy. Like
that's it.
And David Raya is having a season of a lifetime.
He is shot stopping better than anybody. He's doing a great job.
He is.
So you play your best 11, and Kepa ain't it. I mean, I said at the start of our season, what the hell was that signing?
It was a weird one, but I mean, look, so I put a bit of that. I'm kind of on the fence in that one. I think on Arteta, I think tactically he's been shown up here in terms of his creative. Again, so I think definitely. But then the other thing, Mike, I do want to put in this, and I'm a big fan of Declan Rice. I don't think Declan Rice, not saying he played poorly, like. This is where captains, like to me, like if that's Liverpool with Steven Gerrard just demands the ball, and at least there's that effort to make that. From Arsenal, I just see this team that are almost overcoached, and Arteta's all
that's fair. That's fair. I think overcoached is a good word. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But Arteta's all this in the touchline, but it's like Declan.
He reminds me of like a coach of like a U18 or a U8 team where you've got to like call every moment. Because the kid doesn't see it. These are professional footballers, and they're all world class, and they should see it. Like he doesn't need to overcoach every step.
I've played it, and we've been set up in a certain way, and it's just like the team, whatever they're doing, you're going, this is making it. You just take responsibility, and you just talk. To me, that's where captains are really, and I think that they're undervalued now. That
Declan Rice should be the captain of the club.
He should be, but actually, he needs to actually. To me, he doesn't earn it because, like, where was he in that? That's where I expect him to take the game by the scruff of the neck and say, right, guys, give me the ball and just say, I'm going to make something happen here. And I do think there's that. And then there's the Saka. Like, you can say that I know Eze's coming a little bit of form, but they're attacking players. I was
unlucky that he was injured because he would have been in the starting 11. But it shouldn't have mattered.
Trossard off a cliff form. Saka, to me, really poor. Gyökeres, I think, has been poor all season. I will say, I thought that he looked a lot better than Haaland in the first half. In the first 15, 20 minutes, when Arsenal was it, he looked, because I just think he's busy, right? I think Haaland is I think he's underperforming and has been for a while at City.
For sure.
I think it's complacency. I don't really know what it is, but Gyökeres, I mean, net season, I go Havertz not.
Season-wise, for sure.
The thing is, but see that game, like you say, Martinelli will take people. He runs it. He goes that way, right? He does go that way, and he run in behind. And I said,
Madueke does the same thing.
I was like, I said Martinelli's going to come on any minute, and I was like, he wasn't one of the first substitutions. I was like, why would you not?
What are we doing? Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of questions.
Tactically, I didn't love directionally what they did, and it was. You're right. I was quiet in the chat because I was punching walls.
I know you were fizzing, but look, the good news is, look, I need to be balanced here. I do love poking fun at the Arsenal fans, but look, the season is not over. It's not doom and gloom. It's like the two big ones are still. And honestly, Mike, I do have a question.
The ones we care about are in play.
But well, I do have a question though, Mike, because I do think the only way that the season could derail at all, there's only one possible outcome, is if, like, again, it's about being spread thin, right? City are now not spread as thin, right?
Yep.
Other teams, Chelsea for Liverpool, are not spread as thin.
Yep.
That matters, right? It does matter.
It sure does.
Do you think there should just be a prioritization of the league games, given the fact that you're in, because that to me is a smart
league
thing.
and Champions League. I don't care
but
about the
I'm
FA
talking
Cup.
about those two. If you were to, like, do you not think it's smart to say the league has to be prioritized even over the Champions League?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you're 6 points ahead, right? See,
Yes.
the Champions League, Mike, and again, I know you're playing sport.
And our draw in Champions League, we don't have to have our very best 11
Not yet.
to win those
Not
games.
yet.
Not yet.
yet.
No.
Yeah.
Like through game week 33 and the City match, the league is the priority.
Who knocked out Arsenal from the Europa League a few years ago?
Sorry, what?
Who knocked out Arsenal from the Europa League?
I'm going to guess it's Sporting Lisbon.
Yes, it is. Who are Arsenal playing in the Champions League again?
I'm going to say Sporting Lisbon.
Right. Okay, cool. Carry on, Mike. So the Champions League's a
Yes,
freebie.
because
Okay, cool.
past performance is indicative of future behavior always, right, Waza? Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Just wanted to flag the Champions League's a freebie.
Waza's a data guy. He's a data guy. He loves data.
He is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look. As I say, I do think that there's very much got to be that maniacal, because I think the league is just
the
it's
league
there.
is number one.
It's there.
Yeah.
Right? And honestly, Mike, if you win the league and nothing else, it's a great, like, it's a phenomenal season. Like, and that's the thing that you've been waiting, for so long. So
yes.
And I think, anyway, okay, glad we're good.
I mean, certainly I would love to stop hearing the chants of only team in London with a proper European Cup that Chelsea can do, but the league is the most important.
Okay. Waza, from a City perspective, look, the City performance, this is probably one of their best in terms of complete team performance. Like, it felt like when Bernardo Silva, I thought, he's such a good player. My God. I do think Waza as well.
Punchable troll face, though.
Oh, well, there we go. Not quite Garnacho, but one thing I would say was, like, we talked about O'Reilly. Like, I've been watching for probably a couple of months now, and like his timing of run for those headers is like from midfield, and it reminds me a bit like Scott McTominay's just got that instinct to be in the right spot. He's definitely shown me some things to go, oh, like that boy is like, offensively, right? And again, I think he's a good player, but I'm like, he can make, and he's tall. Like he's quite difficult to. It was like another run off the shoulder for the second goal. Really, really good stuff. So, do you have any real renewed because look, your season now really hinges on, like, you got to beat Arsenal at the Etihad, and then you got to hope that they slip up, and you need to be perfect now. You got to win every game. I think Chelsea's next, which is obviously has been a bit of a problem for you, to be honest. Like, Chelsea have not been a great matchup for City. You've games you should have won that you've dropped points. So how are you feeling, or how the City fans feeling after that? Is there now a little bit of hope that maybe had evaporated now exists for the league title?
No, we're still pretty. Well, I say we're still pretty, but I'm far more pragmatic than other City fans. I just still don't think we're going to win the league. But what that does actually give me, and here's a bit more spice. It does make me think that we actually could win the FA Cup and get the double this year. Like that can legitimately happen, because if we come,
you've got to get past the mighty Liverpool, mate. That's going to be tough.
That's the thing. Liverpool is also one of those teams which is like,
I think
they could be anyone on their day or be utter pish. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I think the problem is, away from home, we are absolutely horrendous. So I think and we will prioritize the Champions League over that cup for sure. So I do think that you could look at,
I think you could. That you do that though.
Well, I think he has to save it. Like, I genuinely think he's in a situation where he's got to do that, because like the FA Cup won't save his job. Honestly, It won't save his job. It won't. So I think you'll see City. I would be shocked if we go full strength in that game. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd be shocked, but I would expect to see some rotation from us in that game. But yeah, looking at City's fixtures, so you get Chelsea away and Arsenal home, and then your fixtures, honestly, like you could go on and win. I mean, you do need to go to Everton, who are playing really well. We'll talk about it shortly. It feels like Arsenal. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the problem with Arsenal is it's the next 3 games. Like, they've got Bournemouth at home, City away, Newcastle home. I don't see all green fixtures pretty much the whole way to the end of the season. You're talking about Fulham home, West Ham away, Burnley home, Crystal Palace away. I don't see enough jeopardy there. So I do think the next 3 games, I actually think they probably would need to drop something against Bournemouth, like a draw, and then go to the Etihad with real pressure is the only way. And because in Newcastle, bit of a bogey, they've been a little bit.
Has been, although this year it's been better. But we have to go into City on an uptick. There has to be momentum going into that match.
Yes, and I think Bournemouth are an interesting matchup because yes, you can score, but also they will probably come into whatever, and they'll come and have a go. I think they'll come and get in your face. So, look, it's going to be fascinating. I think the league title's decided in the next 3 games. I think Arsenal, if Arsenal can get 6 points, they could even. I think they can go and lose at the Etihad as long as they beat Newcastle and Bournemouth at home. They'll be 3 points ahead with a better goal difference with 4 games to go, and all games that they will most likely win. Whereas City do have Everton. They've just got more tricky fixtures. So I just think City would have to be ahead. After this 3 game stretch, they have to go to Chelsea, and I just think it's been a little bit of a funky matchup for City. I don't know, and I just don't trust them enough this year. But look, at least it gives us a little bit of semi-intrigue. We'll see what happens. I think this game week's important. But yes, go ahead.
The international break is going to be interesting because Arsenal have a lot of players
that they haven't sent.
No. They've also they have sent, like, for example, Declan
they
Rice,
should be fined.
right?
They should be fined. Like I would fine teams.
Oh right, yeah. But it's more so a case of like, can they keep their key players fit? Because looking at the Carabao Cup, they only have a first 11. Like, despite having depth, realistically speaking, Arteta only trusts 111 to do the job right now.
Really, they've got a ton of fucking people.
No, don't get me wrong. Like I said, they have they have a really good bench. They have a lot of depth. But when it comes to Arteta making changes, he really doesn't like making substitutions. And that's because he doesn't really have faith in the people coming off the bench to make a difference, right? Like, where Pep is very much a case of, you've all been on the pitch for 60 minutes, figure it out. I don't want to make substitutions because of that. I think Arteta, I don't know how much he actually trusts his bench here. So if, like, for example, I think the most damning thing for Arsenal's title charge is if Declan Rice gets injured. If he gets injured...
I think, look, again, I just think they've not sent... Look, if Arsenal had a fixture tomorrow, all these guys would be playing. I promise you that. Like, and I just think it's like...
Fine.
I just think
for sure.
I just think it's poor. There should be some jet. I don't like that. Like, as much as I don't love the international break, I don't love the fact not sending guys when they could play for their club. I think that they look. I think their minutes can be managed, but I think, come on, like, it's your country. Come on, boys. Like, and you get paid to play football, guys. You're lucky. Just get on with it. Stop being pussies, right? Go and play ice hockey for a year, then come back and tell me you got a hard life, right? Get a better attitude. So I don't love that. I'm not shocked to see it. But anyway, it is what it is. I do want to talk about the race for Europe. So I made a bet on a betting site, not with another person, as I normally do like to have the wagers. Something I've been watching for a number of weeks now, and it's a belief that I have. I think Everton might finish 5th. I'm going to put this out there now, right? And by the way, like, again, look, David Moyes, in my opinion, deserves manager of the season. I know everyone's like, like everyone likes the young, managers with all these great ideas. Everton are phenomenal. Should have beaten Arsenal, by the way. They were better than Arsenal. They outplayed Arsenal and should have won. Again, couldn't finish their dinner. Arsenal got away with one there. They are a phenomenal team. They will beat like Liverpool. We are not going to beat them. I'm telling you right now, the way that we are playing, we've got to go to their. That is not like, we are not going to come out of that well. They are 3 points behind us. And right in the mix. Brentford are there. I don't want to dismiss Brentford, by the way. I think Andrews has done a great job. I just think David Moyes, given the fact he was sacked from West Ham because he wasn't good enough for them, he's a dinosaur, been around too long. And with Jack Grealish out for the season, right? And Jai was away. You look at all the jeopardy that they've had, and he somehow got them in a battle. And I know, look, Liverpool haven't been good in Chelsea, but it's been a bit of a clusterfuck. But my God, what a job he's doing at Everton. Now, am I crazy? Is that too spicy a take, or can Everton finish 5th? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't think they can. I just don't think they. So the thing is, I think that they're doing very well. I just don't think that they have the consistency to get to 5th. And also, truthfully speaking, I think that for a club like Everton, getting 5th or 6th, basically being not in the Champions League but still being in Europe, is worse for their next season than
from a depth standpoint, they'll be destroyed the following year.
They'd be sacrificing so much league form just to get to like I don't know, somewhere in Azerbaijan. Like it's not gonna be good for them at all. So like I'm sure that the owners
look at what happened to Villa.
Yeah, exactly, right. They just drop off completely because the Europa League it is very rare to see a team do well in the Europa League and then do well in the league as well. That just doesn't translate at all because the it's harder to play in the Europa League. You get less rest. You are going likely further on.
So you're saying no, as a Mike, can they finish?
Yeah, I don't think so either. I there's just too many clubs in front of them. I don't see that.
So who's in front of the Mike?
So you've got
Chelsea, Liverpool, and Brentford.
Villa in 4. Liverpool,
I think fourth. I didn't say fourth. I think fourth is too juicy.
But my point is that I don't think Villa is necessarily going to finish fourth. So I'm pulling them into that race.
Well, I would say look at their fixtures, and they will definitely finish fourth based on Chelsea, Liverpool's form, and our fixtures. So Everton's fixtures. So the next two are key. They go to Brentford, and then they play Liverpool. So they win those two games, which is that inconceivable?
Not really. Derby is always I
mean, if they win those two games, they will be ahead of Brentford, ahead of Liverpool. Chelsea's games. So cheers, Chelsea's run of fixtures. Man City at home, Man United at home. They then go to Brighton. They then host an informed Forest team. They come to Anfield. They play Spurs second last day of the season. Spurs are going to be in the relegation battle still. They then go to Sunderland. Liverpool's fixtures, okay, we got Fulham at home. We then have to go to Everton, Palace home, go to Man United, play Chelsea at home, go to Villa, and then host Brentford. And Brentford's fixtures get horrendous. They've got to still go to Man United. They've got to go to City. They've got to come to Anfield.
The next three are Bournemouth, Wolves, and Leeds.
Yeah, but they're the games that they struggle. I just look at Everton, mate. I'm telling you right now, I put a bet on. I win quite a lot of money if it comes in. I'm putting it out there.
Which tells you how crazy the bet was if you're going to win quite a lot of money. What were the odds?
The odds are pretty long. Like the odds are like 40 to But I just, do you know what it is? It's one of those things. It's just an eye test thing where you watch a team and you go, I actually think they're better equipped than anyone. The way that they're playing, I just think that they're honestly, like, I really have been so impressed with them. They smashed Chelsea, right? The other week, smashed them.
Well,
right?
Chelsea is one of those you never know.
They should, mate, you watched Arsenal. They should have beaten you. They were better than you at the Emirates. They came to the Emirates, the team that's top of the league. So I'm going like, this is not like, I'm not smoking crack here. Like, this is like if you look at like Liverpool are on this trajectory, Chelsea on this trajectory, right? Brentford are like, to me, a bit up and down now, a wee bit good and bad. Everton, to me, and if you think about it, they lost against Arsenal, but performance-wise, they are on the uptick. To me, they are the team that are going in the right direction at the moment, and there's not that many games left, and they get to play.
There's definitely not many games left.
So anyway,
well, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, 40-1 it's a pretty long shot.
It's a long shot. We'll see. Listen, it's I've made the bet. I'm obviously, I hope I'm wrong because it would be horrible for Liverpool. But if I'm right, then obviously at least I get some money. But yes, let's move on now to talk about the other end of the table because I don't want to spend. I feel like we've done Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, all that to death. Villa obviously a bit of an uptick in form now. It looks like I think they will get top four based on Liverpool and Chelsea's recent woes. I don't think that Villa will be caught. I think they've got enough of a buffer now and their fixtures are kinder. But at the bottom of the table, my God, Spurs, we've got to talk. Mike, this is the bit where you get some reprieve, where you get to smile. I can see that they're just beaming out of you. Obviously, you'd love to have Pat and Aidan on to really have a go here because they'd have been digging you after that cup final. But they've got problems. They've got real problems. I said at the beginning, I saw the first game, Igor Tudor. He's not the guy. How Liverpool, again, it makes our result against them even worse. Nottingham Forest comprehensively beat them. They can't win at home. They are banging trouble. Is Tudor left? Because I know his dad died. It was really sad, but like there was rumors of mutual consent, but I've not heard. There's nothing official. Right?
I haven't heard anything, and Fabrizio Romano's pretty on top of that shit. So if he's not saying anything, I haven't heard it. But like, I mean, West Ham is a point behind them.
So you look at the table now. Okay, after that loss, West Ham are 1 point behind. So you've got, Burnley are out of the running now, and have been for a while. But you have 29 West Ham, 30 Tottenham, 32 Nottingham Forest, 33 Leeds, and then 39 to Palace.
Yeah. From Palace and up, I think it's all sorted. But Leeds, Forest, Spurs, and West Ham slogging it out to not be 18th.
And Spurs fixtures. So Spurs go to Sunderland, really tough place to go. They host Brighton, who are tough team.
They're playing better, and it's at home, which means they're screwed.
Yeah, they go away to Wolves, they go away to Villa, they then host Leeds before they go to Chelsea and then host Everton. I don't love those fixtures. When I compare them to West Ham's, they have Wolves at home next, green fixture. They go a Palace team that are to be limping to the end of the season.
Yeah.
They then Everton at home, tough one, but then they've got away to Brentford, home to Arsenal, away to Newcastle, and they finish against Leeds at home. So again, maybe slightly easier than Tottenham's, but not great. And then Leeds have United away, Wolves, so they've got an easier run. Like Leeds' run looks kinder, so I think they'll probably got enough home games against Burnley. They've got Wolves at home. You expect them to get enough points.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, to me, I don't think that they're in trouble, but their fixtures aren't great. They've got Villa home. They do have Burnley home, but then they go away to Sunderland, away to Chelsea, Newcastle home, away to United, and then Bournemouth. But I just think Forest look good all of a sudden. They look compelling, right?
Yep.
So here's a question. Do you think that Spurs should make another managerial change now with the international break and bring in, they're talking like, I don't know, Harry Redknapp, Robbie Keane, I don't know if Ange, I don't know what they're thinking.
Bring Ange back. Just do it.
What do you think, guys? Like, do you think they should make a change again now?
I think it's just a bad idea at this point. I think, like, do we really think that someone else is going to come in and they're going to take a few games at least to get their feet under the table, get to know the team, and be able to actually implement some sort of tactic? And during that time, they can still drop a lot of points. I'm not saying Tudor's perfect, but hell, like, he's at least got some games under his belt with the team. Like, it's one of those better the devil you know things at this point. If they were going to sack him or let him go, they should have done that after the first game. Like, not several games after.
Loss, draw, loss. That's a lot of great games under your belt.
And you're like, Mike, if they kept Thomas Frank, they would have been fine. We all know that, which is just
for sure.
Yeah, they shouldn't have gotten rid of Frank.
There's no doubt. Now, I would say the only thing, I just think the bat signal, Big Sam. Surely it's time for Big Sam here. No, it must be, right? It must be time. Like Big Sam, like get Big Sam in. Like, you know, he'll get you. Like, it'll be, he'll literally go and like get in the youth squad. Who's the tallest guy in the team? Put him up front. Shell the ball. Like, they'll be horrible to play against. Look, I think, Mike, I don't know. You think? Again, they should never have fired Thomas Frank. I knew that at the time, but it is what it is. But I think they should fire. You read out the results there, right? And against the result against Liverpool, an anomaly in a game that we fucking gave them by being just utterly dross, right? It's like they are like that. I watched the Forest game, and it was competitive for like a half, and then it was just like you can see the fragility. It's like. And I just don't think he just doesn't look like he's got that dressing room in a way that somebody's got to grab them by the nuts and be like, boys, wake the fuck up, because we're going to get relegated. And I know West Ham have,
and the supporters we're going to rally around the team. And then it looked like they just, flushed the toilet and everyone left.
Let's get the early train home. Let's just get the early train home. Yeah. Look, West Ham, the only good news is West Ham's form has wobbled a little bit. I think that they've maybe, but again, I still trust Nuno to get more out of that team.
And Jared Bowen is like, he'll continue to be clutch. Yep.
He's quality. But yes, look. What I would say is I do think the good thing about the league. I know that the league title looks somewhat done, but the intrigue in the top relegation battle is,
and it's going to go down to the final week
because there's enough teams. Exactly, there's enough teams that have got jeopardy, and that they're so close together now. Yes. That there is good, and they play each other, so it's like it's going to be great watching.
It's going to give a whole new meaning to Championship Sunday.
Exactly.
Who's headed down to the championship?
Okay, so we don't have another game week till 10th of April. So we have to talk fantasy, I know, which is ages. So I guess my main thing I say to people, and my nephew does this sometimes because he's an absolute nugget. I'm like, don't start making transfers or do anything now.
Delete the app. Do not look at it.
Don't look at it. Just wait. Just punt on it. Wait until
there's so much information to be had. Don't do a thing.
Don't do anything. Wait until after international break. The chips all fall. Let's see where we are. And then
strategies are clear, and it all comes down to the results of the FA Cup and whether or not people get hurt in international break. Don't touch your team.
Yeah, this is the easiest fantasy advice we've ever done, Mike. Right?
Yeah, it's very simple.
So
if you make a transfer now, you're an idiot.
Yeah, because I feel I'm going to ask you because I feel that like this is like just to spice things up because I think that's too boring to kind of end with. What I am going to ask you boys is, if you look at the next, I think it's 7 games to go. Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
7? Yeah, 7.
Yep.
7 games to go. Is there, if you look at that run of fixtures, like is there a player, if I said, right, who's the player you're going to go like there, if you said the first name in your fantasy team sheet, you go, they're the person based on those run of 7, right? We're not talking about the players you swap in and out. You go, if you don't have them in your team, I would implore you, make sure they're in your team for the final run of 7 games. So I want that, and then maybe a wild card pick of somebody you go look for maybe people that are chasing a little bit and need something spicy. Do you have a wild card player for people? So I'll put that out there and let it marinate a little bit.
I mean, I don't, because it comes down to there's ifs, buts, and maybes.
I mean,
come on, Waza.
Let me just see. How are they looking? I mean, none of the relegation candidate people.
I'll start. I think Bruno Fernandes has to be in your team. If he's not, and he's not.
Well, but he's been in every, like, if he hasn't been in your team now, you haven't been paying attention.
Well, maybe, but I'm just saying he's the guy I go, even with the run of fixtures, I think he's so involved in it. Like, I think he's the one midfielder that I go, like, you could captain him through the next 7 weeks.
He's almost an arguable permacap for the balance of the season. Yes.
So that's my point, Mike. So it's almost like, look, but people don't captain him. Not everyone does own him, because people are kind of like, oh, he does get a lot of more assists than goals. But yeah, his return has been great. So I think he's the one. Any other stalwarts you have that you go, they're just like, I mean, do you think Gabriel's still that player? Do you think, goalies? What do we think? Who do we think? Forwards? Like, who are you thinking in the forward line?
No, I still think that the points and the value is across the midfield.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you want to probably, I don't know, if I was to take a punt, it would be on some City players right now.
Yes.
Like, I think just because of the Carabao Cup win, I think that there is some greater sense of belief, and you're going to see people like Cherky have a lot better games now that they have the midfield in their pomp behind them too. So I think that I'd still stick with the 3 of Semenyo, Cherky, and Nico O'Reilly. I think that 3 is pretty solid for City, and probably Chelsea, to be honest.
Well, again, I wouldn't remember, guys. O'Reilly was going to be one of my picks. He's a defender. O'Reilly is a defender in fantasy football.
Yeah.
Right. So he's a great
number 10, just racking up the assists
for $5 million. He's barring injury. He's one that I'd say get him in your team. He's not as old as he should be. The other 2 players I'm going to mention, surprise, surprise, are one of 2 you pick. Pick up one of these 2 players, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall or Iliman Ndiaye. They are both in this run-in, I believe, going to be, and I would also counsel you look at Everton's defensive contributions, pretty significant returns there. Tarkowski, I think, is the main guy. He's been pretty consistent this year. But Brathwaite, another one, he is a threat from corners. I do believe Everton are playing really well. I think Dewsbury-Hall and Ndiaye are involved in, especially with Grealish not being in there, are involved in everything they do offensively. They don't have like a really legit number 9. They're people that I think you can look at. I think there's a team you look at there that I really trust, that I think are undervalued and not owned as much as they should be. That's my hot take for a Friday.
Do we want any Bournemouth players in there, though?
There's a boy, I think see if Krupi Jr. was starting every game. I would consider him. I need to look at their fixtures. Let me just have a quick look.
I think they're kind of checked out a bit, though, because the thing is, they're like 40. They've got 42 points. They've had how many draws in a row? Like
so many draws. Like, do you know what? Senesi's the guy, though. Like Mike said, Senesi's the no-brainer pick from Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, I have Senesi and Tavernier. I was shocked. I mean, why is Tavernier not taking that penalty? Like, he's supposed to be on penalties.
But 2 horrible fixtures. They go to Arsenal.
Yeah, no, their fixtures turn a bit. Yeah.
Jesus. Like, no, I don't love it. But Brighton are a team, are one that I would say.
They could be sneaky.
But the problem is, Mike, with Brighton is, who do you pick? That's the thing. Danny Welbeck, maybe is the one that I go, but I feel like he does change a lot.
Yeah.
And I think he's done. You saw David Moyes defending your bit of stuff. Waza, what's his name? I don't know how to pronounce his surname, but I know you fancy him. He was defending him, going, guys, no, you are. He's doing a great job. Like, he'll manage a German national team. I think he's doing a great job there, because I think I know Brighton are a little bit inconsistent, but I don't think I've ever watched Brighton under him and been bored. Like, and they're doing well. I think he's doing a pretty good job at Brighton. So I do think Brighton's one that you might want to look at. That's that kind of odd week-to-week flyer. You go, I'm going to pop Welbeck in for a week or two, or I mean, I like Matoma, but he doesn't start every game. So it's a little bit frustrating. And is it Van Hecke, the defender, has been pretty good this year, pretty good. But yes, and in terms of goalie, I like Kelleher at Brentford, but I think their fixtures are a little bit, I don't know. I need to have a look at it. Anyway.
The other one, I guess, would be Anthony Gordon, just given where he's playing right now.
I think Harvey Barnes. Why would you take Anthony Gordon over Harvey Barnes?
Because he's on penalties.
Start every time. Yeah, and he's on penalties. Yeah,
penalties probably makes sense. Yeah, but I just thought that Barnes is in pretty decent form, isn't he?
Yeah. No, I just think that with him playing up top, and I'm always going to defer to someone who's on pens.
Yeah. And another one to watch. And Buemo's form is going to uptick.
It has to, because it can't get any worse than it's what it's been over the last few weeks.
But why?
At least from a fantasy standpoint.
But why do you think that is? Same as Mo Salah. Same as what they have in common.
Okay, so we're done fasting.
Every year, though. No, it's legit.
No, I know. It's been a thing with Salah. Salah is completely checked out, regardless.
But you see, when Mane was at the club, you look at his. All the players that were fasting, and it's just logical, right? If you're fasting,
for sure.
You're like, and it's only recently the league has done maybe more things to help them, like say have a break to. So like genuinely in Buemo's form, don't be concerned. Like in Buemo's form is to me directly correlated to that. Which you look at any of those players, it's so true, and it's just logical to me. So that is one that you could look at if you think because Man United don't have European distractions.
Yeah, they of all the teams that are benefiting from no distractions, they are clearly them.
Correct.
Not the fact that Carrick has got the players playing where they're supposed to play, the way they're supposed to play.
The only other thing, Mike, as well, is that it looks like Carrick's he genuinely is his strongest first 11, and Buemo plays number 9.
Yes,
Sesko sometimes gets brought in for different opposites, but his best 11.
Yes,
and Buemo plays up front. So by nature, he's in more advanced positions, and he's pretty good up there. So he's another one that I think if you want to double up him and Fernandes, that could be an option if you want to go in Man United, because I'm very cool in Man City players at the moment in terms of their like Haaland and the players you would normally go to. I just don't think the eye test doesn't pass for me.
The one. I agree with Waza. I think Semenyo's the one. He's got all of the attacking threat that's turning into points.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm probably gravitating towards Man United. I'm looking at other teams. I actually think in this stretch of 7 games, and I could listen. Haaland could go off, and I could regret it. But the eye test it doesn't pass for me unless it's against a really really poor opposition. Then I might have to just sub them in. But anyway, look. What's on this weekend? I'm going to the Scotland-Japan game. Final one. I think it's the final home warm-up game before the boys go off to the World Cup in the summer. So hopefully that'll be.
Have you secured tickets yet? Are you
I'm still looking. If anyone knows anyone in the Boston area, I want to try to get tickets for at least one of the Boston games at Foxborough. So if anyone knows anyone that's selling 2, ideally 3, I would happily take them for any of the games. So yes, I would love to go, but I'm still trying. I think from what I heard, I've got a mate who's got loads of loyalty points, didn't get anything. So I think a lot of tickets have gone to locals.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to leverage my network there to see if I can get something. So fingers crossed.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Okay. And Ireland didn't make it. Neither Northern Ireland, neither did Wales. So wow, which is a shame because we'd love our Irish cousins to be there with us, but they'll just have to support whoever England's playing instead. So wonderful. Yes. Okay, good. But listen, guys, have a great weekend, whatever you're up to. The weather's a bit rubbish here in Scotland, but we're going to make the most of it. And I will look forward to seeing you next week as we build up to the start of some juicier fixtures, right? After the international break.
Indeed.
Cheers.
Thanks, boys.